Good afternoon, GCC family. Welcome back to your daily devotional. Happy Monday. I hope your week is starting off well today. Hope you got a chance to watch our message yesterday online, Unstuck Part 3. Hope you have been listening to the right voices today and seeking God and His Word today. And hopefully yesterday, the problems that we had on Facebook didn't stop you from hearing that message. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to it, you can check it out right here on YouTube. Our Sunday morning message along with the worship time, and so we're adapting, we're learning during this season, and hopefully we can do even more things. Hopefully we'll be back meeting together soon, and as soon as we have more information on that, when we'll be able to come back together and meet, we will let you know. We have been talking about it, myself and the board, and just kind of what that'll look like. So we're planning and we're preparing. In fact, this Friday, we're having the carpets cleaned at the church and the sanctuary, just getting prepared, getting the church cleaned up and getting ready for that. So, but today we're going to continue in our devotional, in the Gospel of John, and we are in John chapter 15 today. John chapter 15, and we are going to read verses 1 through 17 today. Now, this is a passage that I have preached on here at Grace Community Church early in the year. It talks about one of our four, really the four visions for the church, the four words that really feel that God is putting on our church, and one of them is grow in Jesus. And we're going to talk about that today a little bit, and just reading His Word. And so let's get into it. John chapter 15, verse 1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You all are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commands, you will remain in my love. And just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in His love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, so that you might go and bear fruit that will last, and so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. This is my command: love each other. So Jesus, he's continuing to prepare the disciples for His death, right? Continuing to prepare the disciples for Him leaving. And he makes a statement basically that we are supposed to bear fruit, and much fruit, and fruit that will last. I mean, he talks about it all through this, that we're supposed to bear fruit. And so that's the good news. Our life is supposed to be fruitful. The bad news is that it requires pruning. He said that every branch that does not bear, or that does bear fruit, He prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. And so pruning is the hard part, because pruning is painful. And if you've gone through a pruning season, which I think right now the whole world is in a pruning season, right? But believers, especially right now, this is a pruning season for us. We've been pruned. We've been pruned of meeting together and coming together. But what that has, in those difficult moments, it forces you to rely more on God. And it grows. And this is why I started the devotionals during this time. This is why I've said it a lot. that, man, during this time is going to be what you make of it. A lot of people are just busy complaining, and I'm not enjoying it either. I'm not happy with it. I want to be out doing things. But man, this time can be used to grow. During this pruning season, use it to grow. We have these flowers in front of our church building, and they weren't great when, they were kind of dying for a little bit and things, and the winter, dying or cold and not very healthy. But when this happened in March, the first week that we got shut out, we had to shut the doors and had to start meeting online, I went and I pruned them. I pruned all the plants in our little planter out in front, both of them. I pruned them. I cut off all the dead ones. I pruned them all. And when we come back, you'll see them. They're flowers blooming on them. They're beautiful. They're green. They look healthy. But man, I had to cut them. And I'm sure if those plants feel things, I don't know how that works, but I'm sure that was painful, because it is painful being pruned. But man, the fruit that comes afterwards, it's beautiful, isn't it? And Jesus says over and over again to remain. If we remain in him, he will remain in us. If we remain in him. He says that over and over again. 4 or 5 times I think he says the word remain right there. And he talks about remaining in him. And when we remain through the pruning season, there's fruit that comes. A lot of times that's when people walk away, is during the pruning season. They give up. It's painful. They don't want to deal with it, and they quit. Don't quit during this season. Remain in him. All right. And then he says, remain in his love. And then he says to love each other again. He gets to kind of repeating and re-emphasizing the things that he had been talked about. He had just given them the new command a few chapters ago, of love each other as he has loved them. And he talks about that again. Love each other. He says, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Reiterating what he had already told them. Telling them again, this is a command. It's not a suggestion. Love each other as I have loved you. Love like me. And then he says in verse 13, we know this scripture, a lot of people quote this scripture, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And a lot of times we look at that, we say, wow, Jesus, he's laying down his life for his friends. But it goes both ways. Because yes, Jesus is saying we are friends and we are his friends. He says right after that, you're my friends if you do what I command. Because, when we follow his commands, we have a relationship with him. When we are following him, when we're doing that, we have a relationship. We are friends, he says. But in that, I think a lot of times we look at the fact that Jesus laid down his life for us because we're his friends. But I think it's also true that he's telling us that there's no greater love than us laying down our lives for him, than us being willing to give our lives for him and laying down our lives, carrying our cross, right? And serving and following him and that. And so, man, he's saying that, and then he says we did not choose him, but he chose us. Isn't that true? I mean, I think back to my life, and man, eventually I said yes to Jesus, but I didn't choose him. He was choosing me my whole life, and I was running from him. He was choosing me when I was in sin even, and saying, hey, I want to give you a better life. I want to give you this. I want you to follow me. I want you to have a relationship with you. He was choosing me and waiting for me to just say yes and accept that being chosen. And the same thing is for all of us, right? Even today, if you're just stumbled upon this, I want you to know that he chooses you. You have to accept that, though. You have to receive that and choose to have this relationship in return with him. And then again, he closes out saying that anything that the Father would give us anything again in his name. We ask in his name, and we talked about that before, that it's in his name and it's in through him. And so and then he finishes off again, verse 17. This is my command: love each other. Just reiterating that again. Here's today's takeaway. 2 takeaways. 2 of the 4 things that are our Grace Community Church's vision. 1, grow in Jesus today, church. Grow in him, remain in him, stay in him. The fruit is coming, church. The fruit will come. I believe a harvest is coming for our church. The fruit will come. It may feel like pruning right now. It may be difficult right now. Stay in Him, remain in Him during this time. And then the second one, we talked about it a couple of days ago, but it's so good. I don't mind repeating it. Love like Jesus. Love each other. Love Him. Love others. Love like Jesus. Unconditionally, sacrificially. Those are the takeaways today, church. Remember our four words for our vision. Come, grow, love, go. Come to Jesus, grow in Jesus, love like Jesus, and go for Jesus. Church, God bless you guys. Man, I am praying that we are going to be able to come together soon. And I pray that you have a great week as well, church. Have a great week. God bless you guys.